So, buddy, Doctor Who is back.
Indeed.
Are you excited?
I would be excited if I didn't have this massive headache right now.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, what's with the haircut?
What haircut?
You got a haircut.
Oh yeah, like maybe 3 weeks ago.
Like, yeah,
we haven't done a show in that long.
2 or 3, yeah.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah, no, I got it a long time ago.
Yeah.
So
it makes your head look bigger.
Do these headphones make me look fat?
Yes. Maybe you just look fat though.
Maybe. While I was waiting for you because you were a little late today.
Yeah.
I had a stack of cookies about that high.
Oh, good God.
And they're gone.
What happened to the gluten-free diet?
Oh shit, man! Last night when I was watching the new Doctor Who, he opened up a box of cookies, and then took a little bite out of it, and then put it back on the plate. I as soon as I saw that, I had to run into my kitchen and go get some cookies. I've been on this like cookie binge, and putting back the weight that I lost months ago.
Why do you even have cookies in your house then, if you were on a gluten-free diet?
No, I'm not on a gluten-free diet anymore. I was just the month of November. That's it. New Doctor Who?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find time to watch it today.
Okay. And you've been keeping track. You're a fan of that show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How many episodes do they usually do?
10.
Yeah, so that's a lot for a series in the States or in the UK, right? I mean, like they usually just do 6.
And well, it's between
6 1 hours.
Depends on it does. Yeah, I think it's actually. Is it 1 hour? Or is it like 45 minutes? Because it gets recut for the because they send it overseas too. So I think it's 45 minutes.
Well, I haven't seen any. I'm still stuck on Tenet, second season. So I don't want to talk about. My cousin was telling me about some stuff today where they left one episode, or I don't know if it was an episode or if it was a season, where as a cliffhanger, where they're like, "Let's go back and kill Hitler."
That was a teaser for the first episode of last season, I think.
Oh, of last season. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Someone goes back and tries to.
Assassinate him.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Is that this year?
Yeah, I think he said
definitely went back
year.
and tried. Yeah, I think that was like one of the teasers for this year. It's like, let's go kill Hitler. Yeah.
But that didn't. I don't think that happened.
No. So Doctor Who, so I had to watch it this morning because there was something wrong with my server. I didn't start downloading it till last night.
You don't have the BBC Japan, do you?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Fuck if I know. I just download it.
TV-wise, what's your favorite series on TV?
Doctor Who?
Doctor Who's your favorite, really?
I think so, yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else that I'm actually watching right now.
And you've seen the Sherlock episodes,
Oh,
right?
Sherlock. No, you're right. Sherlock's better.
Sherlock is better?
I feel like a traitor saying it, but Doctor Who's become a little too cutesy for me. I mean, I understand it's a kid's show, really, at heart, but it's like, I just want a little bit more edge to it. Just a little bit more edge.
I haven't been watching any of the new guy, but I'm on the Donna episodes right now, and
this season
the two of them are great. Like when they interact, but the stories are so dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
that was the end of
that series of like. Yeah. I haven't gotten to that end yet. I'm only on the 3rd episode.
The end's not bad. The end's not bad because it has to do with the Doctor and Donna's relationship, and that's always been interesting. So maybe Russell T Davies is just not good at science. It's like, I don't know. He's just not good at science fiction. His stories are always just cutesy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say he didn't have any good ones. He had some good ones, but just got so fucking cutesy.
Yeah.
Russell T Davies is actually better when he writes short stuff. Like the stuff he did before Doctor Who was really good because it was self-contained. Well, actually, I'm not talking. I think he wrote for another series, but I'm talking about his one-off works, like The Second Coming with Christopher Eccleston and the Casanova thing
with David Tennant, right?
With David Tennant, really, 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 really good shows.
Mm-hmm.
But then and you can really see when like Torchwood. Oh my God, what a piece of shit!
Mm-hmm. Is he still associated with that?
I don't know if he still does anything with Torchwood. I mean, Torchwood now is like every year now it's like a mini series rather than a.
Okay.
Like they do like 6 episodes like back to back or something, or 8 episodes back to back, and it's like one story. which is a better format for it, but the writing is still crap. Like last season, it started off so good. It was such a good idea. And then they were like, the writers, it's like they weren't talking to each other. And they didn't.
They just did whatever. Yeah, I think of all the human companions, Captain Jack is American.
Yeah. Even kind of like over the top American, but he's from the he's at least from the future. But he wasn't like, honestly, he wasn't like a companion for very long.
No,
I don't know if he'd really count.
They still classify him as a companion though.
They do, but I don't know. I would argue with that. I mean, like technically he traveled with the Doctor, but in terms of like long-term companions, like Rose, Amy Pond, Martha, Donna, it's like. It's okay, fine. It always has to be a woman. Okay, I get it, fine. But can we get something a little more exotic, like a little more like from the future or an alien or?
Donna's like become his conscious now and saying, "You need to do this." Like she's screaming at him, as opposed to like all the other companions who were always like, "Oh, I love him," and and like they don't want to like.
Well, yeah, in the new series, it's been a lot of like sort of romantic things, so it's nice that they gave him a companion who wasn't like that. Although one thing that the new Doctor kind of annoys me a little bit is that he hasn't really had that many like male sidekicks.
Oh yeah.
No, he hasn't. It was like it's always the girl's boyfriend, right? Like in the new series, it's Rory. It was Rory.
Right. Okay.
And in the first few years, it was what's her face's boyfriend.
Rose's boyfriend, you mean?
Rose's boyfriend, yeah.
Yeah, Mickey.
Mickey, who I liked, but I mean, it was like never
him too.
like. I want to see a guy. I want to see like the sidekick be a guy for a while. Like, what's that dynamic like?
Mm-hmm.
Like the last time there was a male traveling with the Doctor, I think it was Peter Davison's Doctor. Turlough was the last male crew member,
okay.
And he was only. I don't think he was. I think if he was alone with the Doctor, it was only for like one or two. K9's a robot.
That's a male robot, though, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of Doctor Who, I had a dream last night that the episode where they're going to bring all the Doctors together starts off with it starts off to show the transition. It's like the special episode of how the 9th and the 10th Doctor, like how that happened.
Sorry, you went from the 10th. You mean the 9th?
Oh, sorry. The 8th to the 9th.
8th to the 9th.
When they get everybody together.
They've written themselves into a corner with that because it's really cool that they made it sort of like mysterious. But now I don't think they can ever tell that story.
Why not?
Because it'll be an anticlimax because we've had like 6 years of going, oh, what happened? Like, oh, I don't... And everyone's kind of come up with their own sort of idea and it's been like hinted at. It's like when it's like telling people what the fucking Force is in Phantom Menace.
Oh, right. Okay.
You've built it up so much, just leave it. It's the fucking Force. Yeah. It's not fucking midichlorians or whatever the fuck that shit was. Like, it's really strongly hinted in the first series, that the first of the new series, that like Christopher Eccleston's Doctor, like it happened due to trauma from the thing that he did that killed all the Time Lords and all the Daleks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we know kind of why it happened. We just don't know exactly how. And I think by explaining how, it kind of makes it less of a mystery.
So you mean all the stuff where they talk about the planet, the home planet dying and him being the last one and killing all the Daleks in the process, that never actually happened in any series or any
no,
it happened.
It happened between the 1995 TV movie and the 2005 show.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, so that never actually... I thought that happened in the series.
Nope.
Interesting. Okay.
No. So that's what I'm saying is they've...
So everybody's in the same... Like, we have no idea what happened in between.
Yeah, here. And I think if they did it, it would just be too cheesy. Like, it's better to think of it off camera because they can't do it justice because it's a kid's show, basically.
Okay.
Right? I think. Yeah. And also because they don't have any right... I was a big fan of Stephen Moffat. I've been kind of disappointed with his writing so far.
Okay.
Yeah, more. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the fucking point I was getting to. That's another example of the fan service. Yeah. I'm also getting tired of the Doctor saving the whole fucking universe because it's happening like every season. Mm-hmm. It didn't happen the last few seasons actually with Moffat. It was different. No, he's like saving himself.
Just that first one, really.
Yeah, but anyway, so with all the fan service, what kind of made me crazy was that no multiple Doctor stories.
Oh yeah.
Like. We could have Eccleston back. We could have fucking Paul McGann back. Sylvester McCoy, when they killed him off in the TV movie, when he regenerated, he was quite old then as well.
Yeah.
And they could just, I mean, it'd be
He's still
easy
alive too, right?
He's still alive as well. Well, all of them are, like from Tom Baker on, they're all alive.
They're all alive.
Colin Baker can't do it. He's way too fat now.
Oh yeah, he looks
and
different.
He looks really different.
Mm-hmm.
He was always kind of chunky, but now he's like. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. He's the everyone like loves the Doctor they grew up with. I'm one of like the few people who actually likes Colin Baker's Doctor. Because he was a bit of a hard ass, and I kind of like that.
Okay.
And he was also like kind of batshit insane, which I thought was really cool. But Peter Davison.
I like it when the Doctors are insane.
Colin Baker. Peter Davison and Colin Baker were the Doctors I grew up with. So Tom Baker was kind of done by the time I was watching. But yeah, you could have Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant. So there's like 4 possibilities of past Doctors, and I don't think you need all of them. I don't think you need to go crazy and put all of them in. But
I think they are going to do all of them. Anybody that's still alive has agreed to do it.
Wow, because Tom Baker, how are they going to pull that? Because like he really looks different.
I don't know.
Because he's quite big now as well. Tom Baker.
And
he still sounds the same, but he's very big.
Are they going to use
gray?
Are they using Tennant, or are they going to use his human form?
That's an interesting. Well, that's the other thing is that you can have multiple Doctors because you've got the human Tennant walking around in an alternate universe.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of like I want some Paul McGann wrap up. I want to know. Yeah. I don't think they can say what happened in the Time War, but I think they can still sort of talk around it. But like, give us some. I don't know. Give us something. And before Christopher Eccleston gets too old, maybe give us that regeneration sequence. You know what I think would be really cool for a special is you started off with fucking Paul McGann, and we actually have like an hour with just him, so we kind of get to know the character. An hour into like the 90-minute special, whatever, we have the regeneration and something like that. But
okay, wait. So Amy's gone. Obviously, you don't have to like. It's already been ruined for me because I've seen too many.
Yeah, people ruined it for me too. But it was ruined. It was in the press that she was leaving anyway, so it's not like it wasn't ruined for everybody.
And so there's a new companion. There's a new girl.
There will be from the Christmas special.
The Christmas special. Okay, so I have time to catch up then. Yeah. To watch 2 seasons, right?
Yeah. And it's nice.
You liked it, right? You liked that episode?
Oh yeah, no. I think it's. I don't know for the new series. It's definitely one of my favorites.
Okay.
I mean, just the characters are amazing. I mean, the characters are amazing. The writing's great. Like the dialogue's really tight. Yeah. Clara is really cool, and you're not going, oh my god, what a dummy, like you are with so many of the companions. And she also doesn't do the bigger on the inside thing. It's smaller on the outside.
It's smaller on the outside.
Just I don't know, really clever, and I don't know, got to see more. I thought we got more revealed character-wise about the Doctor and about all these other people that he's. And he has now sort of like more companion-like relationships with these other people, with the Silurian and her sidekick, and I can't remember the Suntaran's name. It's like Stags or something like that.
Yeah.
Stag Party. I don't know.
Stag Party.
But I was really actually. I
was gonna say that the opening has his face in it.
Yes, which is also a nod to the old series.
Yes. Yeah.
But
anyway, I agree with you. Yeah. I agree with you that that one episode alone was probably the better ones of what are we up to, series 7 now? This is 7 now, right?
I think so, yeah.
One of the better ones, even with all the pond episodes, and I hated that last one with the ponds. It
was terrible. I'm so glad they can never go back to New York.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, please never go to New York again, because those are the shittiest episodes.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Clara Oswald.
Who are you? Why are you here?
Because we must be able to have a target right now.
What is that thing?
There's something living in the Wi-Fi, harvesting human minds.
He's here.
So, Doctor Who. So I had to watch it this morning. Okay, I got to say one thing, though.
There was a few things that bothered me.
Science fiction writers, like, seriously, when they talk about contemporary technology, not science fiction writers, but the TV writers, it's like the Wi-Fi. Like, they don't even, honestly, it's like, dude, you don't even know what that means. Shut up.
Yeah.
Don't use a term that you don't understand, because then you make the Doctor sound stupid.
Yes.
And all the characters are like, the Wi-Fi this and the Wi-Fi that. Like, what?
Yeah.
What? And they use the word cloud, and I don't think they know what the cloud means. We have to download the whole cloud.
That was what I was gonna say before. Is that this was written like somebody who uses a Mac, and iCloud.
My big number one complaint about that episode. Okay, when the head starts turning around and there's like a hollowed out back of the head and there's like glowy stuff, why the fuck does nobody run? Everyone's just like, no. It's like there's a door behind you.
But half of him is real, and half of him is a computer.
Half of them is real in a very creepy way that repeats everything I say, and half of them is a computer, and it looks very ominous, and I wonder what I should do. I think I'll just cower and scream.
Yeah.
Run! This isn't a 1980s Doctor Who episode. The monster isn't made of rubber. You can run!
Yeah. Or maybe he was just trying to avoid the whole cliche of the Doctor Who run with the new companion, because they always seem to
No, but it wasn't her. It was like the lady at the end, too, and the Doctor sends... spoilers, when the Doctor sends the monster, the one in to get her, and the head turns around, she's just cowering and all. It's like, go left, you can get out. And why don't you
get all those people working for you to stop the Doctor? Why would you just stay in the room?
Get them to sacrifice themselves by running ahead. Just stand behind them.
Well, I guess it's implied that she couldn't do anything without that tablet. That could control your conscience and.
It doesn't control hers though. She could. What? She needed a tablet to tell her to run.
No, she needed the tablet to get the others to have more confidence or whatever, so that they could fight the Doctor. But he's not going to fight them. I mean, not that she would know that, but I guess she knew who he was because of the great intelligence, right? So.
Yeah. But
there were things where I was watching it and I'm thinking, man, this is fucking stupid. And I like the episode. I like somebody was saying too that they didn't like the flirting. I like the stuff. I like the conversations that they had.
The snog box. The snog box.
Yeah, it was awesome. That was an awesome line. And then he's like, she's like, go on, get us some tea or something. And then he goes into the store or whatever, like that little exchange where they're like fighting back and forth between the laptop. But I like that stuff. It was good. It was funny and I liked his bike. I liked the fact that he had the anti-gravity. I think they mentioned it in a Tenet episode, actually, the Olympics.
Oh yeah,
he mentioned he mentioned it before. It's an interesting start. Hopefully the episodes are getting a little bit better, but the whole sequence at the beginning too, with the guy talking to the camera, that totally reminded me of Blink, and I just feel like he's rehashing the same shit.
I didn't mind the beginning. The only thing I mind was like the Wi-Fi and the cloud, and it's like, why don't you just, why don't you just do what the classic Doctor Who episodes did and like make up new names for that shit?
Yeah.
Like it could say like, like it's an alien. There's an alien network that's masquerading as Wi-Fi. That's fine. And then there's there's a substrate, but like the fact like they're in the cloud, it's like no, they're in a cloud maybe, but it's not even a cloud because it's stored in one place, which is the exact definition of not a cloud.
Right.
It's like,
and as I think because of our computer background, we look at that shit and that terminology, and we stop and say, okay, yeah, that's pretty stupid, and it sort of takes you out of it.
Yeah.
It's now that fourth wall.
I mean, there's some pretty clever things, like the idea that she was able to hack because she understood that like the people were the soft spot. But the question I had there is that the episode should have given some kind of reason for them having webcams on their computers in this top secret location,
right? Like, that she's able to take pictures of every single one of them, And then compare it to their Flickr. But I mean, they use real sites too. Yeah, they said the Facebook.
I saw Google Plus pop up. Yeah.
Yep.
What bothered me is that there was no indication. All they would have had to have was like one line explaining why these people had webcams on their machines.
Oh yeah.
Like that's all. They just would have had to do that. It wasn't such a big deal, but they just would have had one line that references it, and then I would have gone, okay, yeah, believable. Because it was a really good idea, but then it was sort of like, but it kind of came out of nowhere. It's like, we didn't know that they had webcams on their computers before that moment. We should have known.
Because they need to they need to like video conference with the person next to them in this one little tiny room. Like,
Yeah,
why
exactly.
would they need, you know? I worked for one of the biggest telecommunications companies in the country with like sensitive data, and we don't have webcams on our there's no justifiable reason to have a webcam on our computer. Yet these guys that are doing something illegal by uploading, basically killing people and uploading them to, this database or whatever.
They have webcams.
Luckily, they have those webcams to Skype home to say, "We're working a little late tonight, kids."
Killing people.
Yeah. I'm going to tuck you to bed and read you a story. Oh, yeah, and your friend Timmy's dad? He's fucking dead tomorrow. Keeps connecting to our Wi-Fi.
But, I mean, as we said earlier, it paid off. Richard E. Grant, it paid off.
Yeah, he did.
I'm like, I saw that bit at the end, and I was like, okay.
And I saw it.
He wasn't a total waste in the Christmas episode.
Yes, like we said in one of the previous episodes. So I think we should talk about the new girl on Doctor Who.
We should probably know her name.
Jenna Louise Coleman.
No,
she's attractive.
She's attractive.
Put
Oswald,
a bag
Oswald.
over her head and do your business.
Okay.
Dude,
yeah, because we don't actually know what name she's gonna have.
No, I have a feeling she's played two different people, even though she's
Oswin,
technically the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we can guess what her name is because it's gonna have Oswald. No, we don't know that. We don't know. We have no idea what her name is going to be because she's had two totally different names. They list the character as Clara Oswin Oswald, but that's just they've mixed the two names together. I don't think I don't remember in Snowman if they gave her last name.
In that first episode, I thought to myself, man, she's like really hot. And then the more I saw her in like the Christmas episode and everything else, I said, oh, she's more than just like a pretty face. I think she's going to be really good. I think it was probably the worst of the Christmas stories, the worst bad guy.
Yeah.
Like they have this snowmen's and Richard E. Grant was completely wasted in this episode. He was just like some little kid that grew up and that's it. That's as menacing as he was the fact that he was grown up and he had.
Well, I think they almost did this so people could stop speculating if he was going to be an alternate Doctor or something like that.
Yeah, you mentioned this before to me. What was he in before?
He was in Scream of the Shalka. It was an animated, flash animated webisode, like web. I think it was on the web.
From the smell of the air, England, 2003. Ugh.
And I actually didn't watch. I watched the first 5 minutes and found it a bit boring.
And the Doctor?
People had complained that I think Russell T Davies when asked whether or not Richard E. Grant would be the ninth Doctor, he said something like he thought the performance was very poor in that. He thought that Grant had sort of phoned it in. Mm-hmm. He thought it was a lazy performance.
So he was supposed to be the ninth Doctor.
Well, when they released that animation, at the time the BBC said that is canon. He's the ninth Doctor. But then when Russell T Davies remade the series, then they changed that so that Doctor got retconned out.
Interesting.
So I think partly I think the Christmas episode is to get him in an episode of Doctor Who, but also it was to sort of put to death the notion that he might play the Doctor at some point.
Mm-hmm. So he's completely out then.
He's completely out.
Basically.
Which is a shame because I like the idea of like a missing Doctor.
Yeah, Richard E. Grant. I actually had to rewind it just to verify that it was him, and then I realized I could look at the credits. But I told Delaney, I think that's Richard E. Grant. He's back. I was almost excited that they're bringing him back. But then the whole I want my mommy. Like the old lady when she's like, oh, I hated that.
No, that was fine. That made sense because he took her she basically had her mind stolen when she was a kid.
Yeah,
that
as a kid, and then
the Richard E. Grant character. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was a kid, and then didn't he say that in the Christmas episode where he'd grown up and he didn't remember growing up? He was still kind of childlike.
I like the reset to factory settings bit. That was a nice little nod.
Reset to factory. Which part?
Well, that's what she does at the end. There's a button that says reset to factory settings. She hits it, and that's when everyone loses their memories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where the guy's like, I came here to clean the toilets.
Oh yeah, because everybody there was just like people that they sort of just grabbed, I guess, right off the street or whatever. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so one of the mysteries that we mentioned in a past episode was what was going to be Clara's name, and I guess it was, and in the end, it turned out to be Clara Oswald.
Yeah,
and she even like made a little reference to Oswin, like Oswald for the win, and then she said Oswin, ha ha ha, and she dies. She dies in the episode, but then he brings her back to life, which is kind of like another thing that I'd mentioned about the whole Aeon Flux thing. I think it's kind of cool if she does play a different person each time. It kind of like a Aeon Flux, second season where she kept dying in the end of every episode. You ever watch Aeon Flux?
I didn't watch. Honestly, the animation stuff. I thought the character design was so ugly. I just absolutely could not watch it.
Aeon Flux.
Look, okay, and honestly, I don't get it. What's that outfit good for? Like,
I can tell you something that's good for.
Whenever I see pictures like that now, I just think of Hawkeye doing it.
Yeah.
Have you seen that online where they have like
awesome.
the people draw Hawkeye in like poses that the female characters have to do?
I was telling Cadney about it the other day, and she said that this is the greatest thing she's ever seen ever.
So let's not compare Jenna Louise Coleman to the girl from Aeon Flux.
No. So I'm looking forward to Jenna Louise. She's gonna be cool.
I think so.
But I read an article just today actually where somebody was saying that Jenny, the doctor's daughter, was actually Jenna Louise's character, and she had
regenerated
into this character, and that's why she keeps dying and living, and I'm like,
that doesn't make any fucking sense.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
That doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't she just regenerate every time? It should be like 4 different girls then.
She'd be a different girl.
3 different girls, yeah.
Yeah. So
and are they really going to cut Peter Davidson's daughter out of playing her? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think they should keep her. I think at this point, the fact that she died and then came back to life and didn't have to regenerate just goes to show that she could probably continue as that character.
Yeah, or there's some kind of like continuity. Like maybe those were separate people, but there's somehow something that continues on. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna. But I like the idea of maybe the new companion's going to be an alien of some sort or strange, because that's one of the things that kind of bugged me about the new series is that they're all humans. Yeah. And but what bugs me is it looks like the eventual version that's going to travel with the Doctor comes from the present day, which kind of bothers me a bit, because I like one thing about the old series is that there were a fair number of companions who didn't come from that weren't contemporary to the viewers of the program.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean they've had companions who are a bit more exotic in terms of where they're from and what, like, they were interesting in some way. I mean, that's one of the reasons I like Donna, because she wasn't quite as nice.
Yeah, that's why I like her.
But even so, still like just regular people. So I'm kind of excited that maybe Clara isn't so normal.
That she's alien.
That she's alien, or there's something that's not modern day England about her.
Right.
I'm getting kind of sick of that.
So yeah, so unlike Aeon Flux, she doesn't actually die every episode, like at the end of the episode, but maybe something's always going to happen to her where she dies. You know how like the whole theory of like I'm protecting her, like that message that he sends to her, you know, the older lady, that maybe he's going to constantly save her in every episode. The new opening I'm not really too crazy about anymore, because I saw somebody present one. I saw his reasoning why it was sloppy. It's done really poorly, and then he goes and creates his own version of like what it should have been, because the things that he brought up, like first of all, the door opens the wrong way apparently at the end. So I'll send you the link, but in the meantime I'm gonna show that clip because of just the opening and then the new opening that this guy created, and it's 10 times better.
Speaking of the TARDIS, The new TARDIS. It looks fucking great. I'm so glad they've ditched the fucking steampunk shit.
Yeah, and they went back to the original.
Like, as it didn't make any... The steampunk stuff, you know what? It was kind of funny, but it didn't really make any sense.
No.
Why was it steampunk? I like the... It's more of a nod to the classic console from the old series, and it's really nice to see it.
I think that if this episode had been amazing, then they would have had a lot to live up to having 2 great episodes. Because, I mean, Moffat wrote the Christmas one too, right?
Yeah. Well,
so
no,
is he just writing every single episode himself?
Both this episode was quite good. It just that it like the Christmas episode. I had a few complaints about it. Like the Christmas episode was the fucking snowmen.
Yeah, and those bad guys weren't that great.
Yeah, and then this one was like the I think I'm a writer who knows nothing about computer. You know what? Someone needed to download some internet information into their fucking brains.
Right.
Hurt my brain.
Yeah.
That's maybe why I have a headache.
Yeah, I went to bed after I watched it, so.
We need to download the cloud.
Yeah. Yeah, so no real hints about 50th anniversary that I'm aware of from the episode, which is fine. I think it's still too early. They did release a 50th anniversary trailer that I'm going to show at the end of this episode, which is kind of cool. It goes like through the history.
Did you catch the reference to the 1960s Doctor Who in this one?
No.
I'm wondering now if every episode's going to have one.
Is the Great Intelligence?
No.
An old.
No, the Mad Monk.
Oh, the Mad Monk.
The Mad Monk. It was in with the first Doctor, and it was, I don't know if it was the same location, but there was like a monk who lived by himself, and it was actually another Time Lord. Well, we didn't know he was a Time Lord because I hadn't invented Time Lords at that point, but he had a time machine as well, and he was like, it was called the Time Meddler. That was the name of the serial.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what this was a reference to, is when they were like calling the Doctor, when they were going to see the Mad Monk, and they find out that like he's where they go in and he's like, he's not really a monk. But that was a reference to Time Meddler. So I'm wondering if every story is going to have like a classic Doctor Who reference in it.
Okay, yeah, it could, because
that was really obvious, and I was like, and also it was the right time period. It was like the
1200s.
Yeah, no, actually, sorry, my mistake. I think the Time Meddler was it was 1066. It was right around the time, or 1060, right around the time of the Norman invasion. So maybe I'm wrong, but the fact that it was like, but it was like medieval Britain.
I was trying to figure out why he was saying, because when he threw off the cloak, he said, monks aren't cool, and I thought that was like a political statement or something.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think you're reading into that too much.
Yeah, maybe.
Bow ties are cool. Fezzes are cool.
Apparently. They always bring back that fez, man.
Yeah.
Clara's okay for now. She's still good. Lots of references to older Who.
No, there's one reference.
Well, I mean, the Great Intelligence was older, wasn't it? I read somewhere that he'd appeared before in an older episode. Yeah.
No, there's the
third Doctor, apparently.
That's the Nestine consciousness. I think that's different.
Oh, yeah?
Hold on. Now I need to check this.
Okay. There you go.
Something that Manson doesn't know about Who.
Oh, Great Intelligence. Right. No, sorry. It's the that's right. That was the thing that controlled the abominable snowmen, the Yeti in the second Doctor, not third Doctor.
Oh, second Doctor. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, so he is a past reference.
Did you? What I didn't know is the voice for him in the Christmas special wasn't Richard E. Grant at that point. It was Ian McKellen.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and then now it's Richard E. Grant.
Right. So maybe it'll keep transferring over, or he's just
yeah.
Like maybe it'll be the woman next time.
What? No, I think it looks like
it'll be Grant.
It looks like based on this that it's going to be.
Cool. Good. I'm glad that he's going to be in it a little bit more.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I actually, yeah, no, I should have clued into that because but that's it. That's interesting that they're bringing back another,
like a fan favorite.
I don't know, fan favorite. It was,
but I mean,
episodes, two stories rather. But
for the old school fans.
Also, I like how Unit is properly back now.
Yeah, is that the Doctor's personal, like, cops assigned to him? Is that what they referenced when they said that? Like,
no, the Unit used to be. It stands for something different now. In the original show, it was like, I think it was United Nations Intelligence Task Force. That was what the Brigadier belonged to.
In that one where.
Well, they first appeared with the second Doctor, and then they appeared like almost the whole third Doctor's time he spent on Earth working for Unit.
He did. Okay.
He was like their science advisor.
Okay, but they've always been they've never made references to these guys in previous series of the new series.
They have, but there was something like, it was
just briefly, right?
Yeah, there's Torchwood, right?
Oh, so maybe they were Torchwood.
Torchwood was also militarized. Initially I thought, oh, Torchwood's like the new Unit, but then they've recently been bringing Unit back properly.
Okay, all right. So get rid of the whole Torchwood connection. Here's a little piece of information, like trivia, really. I was watching an old episode of Matt Smith, and River goes to that blue guy, the big fat blue guy.
Yeah.
And he said, and then River said that I need to get a time. I need a time machine or something, and then he waved at one of his servants who came over with a box, and they had a time, one of those time things that Captain Jack wears. And then he said that it was just obtained from a time agent who had passed away. And people are saying that was Captain Jack. Moffat wrote him off, like basically killed him off.
I don't think he could do that because I think Torchwood might get another series, right?
But this was apparently in the future.
So
how could he
have killed? Wait, how could he have killed him off? Because the face of Bo is Captain Jack.
It's supposed to be
dead.
One thing that I read that he was actually Captain Jack. That the blue guy was Captain Jack.
What?
Yeah.
Who said that? That's retarded.
Because I don't watch a lot of TV, and I want to see an entire series from beginning to end. I want to have that option where over a couple of nights I can watch an entire season.
I mean, Doctor Who's a really legitimate case because I can't fucking get it here at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I basically had to wait for the fucking Blu-rays to come out.
Holy shit! I saw someone post. I don't know where it was. The entire Tennant series, like years.
Yeah.
$200. $200 for an entire series, like for 3 seasons only.
Was he only 3 seasons? I thought he was longer than that.
He might have been
like 5 seasons, wasn't he?
No.
Hold on. What year is it?
He was 3, but what they did was they.
Oh, then that last season with the just like 4 specials or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Where they
that
had
weird season.
They had a long episode, and then they did a Christmas show, and then they had another like 3 or 4 episodes, and then the last ones that he did were over Christmas and New Year's, because they make reference to New Year's when he goes back and sees Rose again. And the copies that I had actually, it stayed like it kept the BBC guy at the end who's saying,
right. Oh god, that's something that annoys me when they talk over the credits. No, because they want to squish them now to like. Just the bottom of the screen and run the preview for the next show. It's
right.
Like, oh.
It's not even the preview sometimes. The Matt Smith episodes that I saw are just these blank boxes. They look like tiles from Windows 8. And it just says in small letters, what the show is and what channel it's on. And they squish the credits like they're like that big. Like if using the window here, they would be this small. And then they would have these large boxes here with just a little tiny writing of what the show was. And it's like, why did you need these 2 boxes explaining what the shows are?
Fuck. It's like, you know what? Can I just listen to the fucking theme music?
Yeah.
How much money do they spend recording the Doctor Who end credits music? And then the BBC guy comes on and is like, oh, next up, the reality show that's a total piece of shit. It's like and also like make some dumb pun or something like that, and you're like, you just fucking broke the mood, asshole.
Totally ruined it.
I'd be so angry if I was paying for BBC, because in UK, even if you have like an antenna, you have to pay a license fee that supports the BBC. And especially a couple times it's happened when there were subtitles.
Yeah.
Like people are speaking Spanish or something, and there's like subtitles at the bottom. You're like, what the Jesus?
What did they say?
Christ, you assholes!
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I cannot see it from my couch.
That's the other reason why I feel justified downloading, because I'm like, it's just there's so much garbage. There's so much bullshit. But really what it is, it's like, it's not, I don't justify it. I'm a huge douche. But the fact is, what it comes down to it, I would not be, basically I download or I wouldn't watch it.
Have they finished everything with the River Song?
No, I'm sure she'll be back. Actually,
she'll be showing up once in a while. I mean, because they've already established how they met, or how she, that in the Hitler episode, and then everything is like everything was going backwards up until that point.
Yeah,
and then every time she's shown up now,
there's still so much stuff in that book. So, and we know she's in prison for, basically in prison for killing him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think she'll be back. I find the character in some ways kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But in other ways, I like her because she's exotic. At least she's different, and she knows stuff that he doesn't, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it's nice for a change.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
But I'd like to see her keep appearing.
Me too.
The only problem is that she dies in that library episode, and the thing is, the actor keeps aging, and
Mm-hmm.
After 10 years, it's just not going to be as feasible because she has to look a certain way when she dies.
Right. Do you think they'll use any computer effects for some of the older doctors? Have them revoice and use old footage of themselves.
Old footage?
Yeah,
dude. The old footage was shot on videotape. Like,
I know.
There's no way. There's no way it's going to look good in a 720p episode.
They'll use their voice to change the words or whatever, and then they'll get cameras that will just get their mouths, and then they'll mouth other words.
Yeah, maybe in 20 years, by which point a couple more of them will be dead.
Right. But I'm just thinking of the Trouble with Tribbles episode that DS9 did.
Yeah, but they had an advantage in the sense that old Star Trek was shot on film.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So, and the problem with the Doctor Who episodes that Tom Baker, Peter Davidson, Colin Baker, and Sylvester McCoy were in were all shot on cheap ass videotape.
Here's what they do. Here's what they do for the 50th anniversary. They shoot all the indoor scenes on video.
And all the outdoor scenes on film.
On film, yeah.
On 16 millimeter.
And then just work around the footage, man. It'd be awesome. One of my least favorite parts in the episode, and I think we should probably wrap it up soon because we showed a lot of clips today. But one of the last things that I didn't enjoy was the fact that she kept on saying Doctor Who.
Yeah, why? Now I hate it's like it's repeated like 6 times every episode.
Yeah,
I mean, all I can say is this better have a non-cheesy good payoff because I'm getting kind of sick of it.
And I think that's the payoff. That's what the 50th episode. Oh, it's Strax. Not Stacks.
Not Stacks.
Okay.
Stacks is the like your cookies.
Stacks of cookies. No more. I'm gonna need a nurse soon. Because it was like up to here. The 50th anniversary. I know it's gonna lead up to that question, and like you've said in previous episodes that never aired. The payoff is going to be lamer than what it actually than what they think is going to be. Like, people are going to think it's cool, or like the producers, the writers, all those guys, they're probably thinking this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be. It's like the Time War. You said in past episodes, the Time War, you don't even need to show it. It's like the Force, right?
They shouldn't because it'll
never live up to the.
It'll never live up to the mystery of not knowing. Like,
yeah.
I mean, at the most, they should like sort of, if they do stuff, they should hint just around the edges. They shouldn't go into it because honestly, anything they write is going to be cheesy. Because the thing is that the problem with Doctor Who is that because it's a show that's sort of meant to also be watched by kids, they can hint at the dark past, but if they ever have to show anything, then it has to become much less dark and by its very nature. So, you know, unless they made,
I think they could make the special, you know, parental guidance or adult accompaniment. They can do one special where there's no rules. They can.
No, they can't. They can't.
I know.
It's a kids show.
It's a kids show. Like the average.
And by the way, adult accompaniment only exists in Canada, so
that doesn't exist anywhere else. I know. I'm not talking about like swearing like Torchwood. I'm just talking about being darker and being a little more scary, you know, for a special. Like these kids shouldn't be up; they should be just watching week to week.
You can't tell a 10-year-old he can't watch the Doctor Who special, though. You just can't.
Well, he'll watch it anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, well, I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy, you look pale and tired. So I think we should go.
I just can't shake this headache.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You know what? You know what would probably fix that? A good glass of tea.
A glass of tea?
Yeah, like put it in a glass and just drink it up. But you don't drink glass tea?
Glass tea. Yeah, sometimes, but
a cup of tea? Is that what I should have said?
Probably, yeah. You don't drink
it's a vessel.
Glass very much. It's a nuclear vessel.
Where do you keep your nuclear vessels? Where do you keep them?
Captain, we need to find the nuclear vessel.
Captain. It was good Who episode.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So you're not gonna, now that we're reshooting the ending, you're not gonna tell me to have a glass of tea, are you?
Well, you're looking a little pale, so maybe you should have a glass of tea.
Peace out and fuck off.
Okay, and I will see you online with a glass of tea.
When you began all those years ago, sailing off to see the universe, did you ever think you'd become this? The man who can turn an army around at the mention of his name.
I got too big, Dorian, too noisy. Time to step back into the shadows.
Your real name is hidden. It burns in the stars, in the cascade of Medusa herself.
It's more than just a secret, isn't it?
If we knew his name, we might have a clue to all this. Silence will fall when the question is asked.
You're a man with a long and dangerous past, but your future is infinitely more terrifying. The signs believe it must be averted.
What's so dangerous about my future?
On the fields of Trentador, at the fall of the 11th, when no living creature can speak falsely or fail to answer, a question will be asked. A question that must never, ever be answered. You can't run away from this.
I've been running all my life. Why should I stop?
Because now you know what's at stake, why your life must end. The silence is determined that the question will never be answered, that the Doctor will never reach Trentador.
I don't understand. What's it got to do with me?
The first question, the question that must never be answered, the oldest question in the universe in plain sight, the question you've been running from all your life.
Yes, but what is the question?
It's the same story every time, but it always begins with the same two words.
What two words?
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. Doctor Who. Doctor Who.
If we knew his name, we might have a clue.
So I think it's pretty funny that there's a higher intelligence, linked on the internet. I wonder where Moffat got that idea, huh?
Yeah.